collecting his fat paycheck like a spoiled influencer who can't handle the thought of not being at the center of attention. Other shows have come and gone in the last 2 decades after the first slew of original Nicktoons, but SpongeBob was here to stay and pulped everything in its path that is, if you believe cartoon forums from the early 2010s, from when people caught onto the fact the show had long lost its steam and grown sick of seeing it on the schedule. But could SpongeBob really have been the cause for the cancellation of such shows as Invader Zim and even juggernauts like the Fairly Odd Parents? Well, before we delve into that question, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, NordVPN at NordVPN.org, and be easy all you want that makes selling it seconds you're not club from my perspective onto the air. It was a post-Ren and Stimpy Nickelodeon in the late 90s, or from my perspective, the only part of the 90s. Cartoons like Hey Arnold was still in their prime. The recent premiere of The Wild Thornberrys would ensure that we won't get rid of the Klasky Chupa mouth that easily, even after Rugrats was starting to wear itself out. The same year of 1998 also saw the premiere of Cat Dog. Now, from my experience, people like Cat Dog. I've never really met anyone who hates the show with a passion, but it's also rare to see anyone defend it as their favorite cartoon ever. It's just your average run-of-the-mill 90s Nicktoon like Doug. No one hates Doug, but I've yet to meet someone who'd call it their favorite Nicktoon.
I'm ready to vote right now. Cat Dog. Who up against?
Yeah.
Wait, who up against?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
All right, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. See y'all next time.
Thank you.
So yeah, I
Do
guess
we
we'll
really have to do this to this? This is just bullying.
Yeah, I'm
While I can admit the premise of Cat Dog is interesting enough, you know, you got this cat and the dog and they're glued together, it could pass for animal cruelty in some necks of the woods, but as an executive, would you choose this show over something being pitched to you as an undersea sponge fry cook with a pet snail?
His name is SpongeBob SquarePants, and his friend's name is Patrick. He's a starfish, and he lives on the same street as SpongeBob, and he's unbelievably dumb.
So bottom line, he's a sponge.
From an objective standpoint, any sane person would realize SpongeBob is the more interesting premise, but it was not easy to convince Nickelodeon of that. For much of the early episodes, SpongeBob was kept under the radar, while Nick was focusing on the production of Cat Dog, which they expected to be their next big breakout hit. The marketing made this very obvious. When you compare the animation quality of the Hey Arnold short they played in front of Harriet the Spy with the Cat Dog one they played in front of the Rugrats movie. The fact they even used it in the beginning of the Rugrats movie alone shows you how high hopes they had for this one. Nick was really keen on getting another duo among the lines of Ren and Stimpy. However, they didn't expect this to be Cat Dog at first either, but a little known show on their cartoon showcase Kablam called Sniz and Fondue, the creator of which got offered a spin-off solely focused on the two of them, but declined because he was overworked. You wanna guess what other show would later take its place? When Nick eventually realized the colossal mistake they had made ordering 100 episodes of Cat Dog and only 6 of SpongeBob, the ball had already started rolling, with the show's ever-growing popularity that even in its early days was rivaling that of Pokemon, as the first kids show to compete with it during its Saturday morning time slot, with news outlets like the New York Times calling Nickelodeon the new Disney with how much merchandise they were starting to pour out. I don't remember the last time I saw a Cat Dog full bodysuit. While SpongeBob can hardly be blamed for Cat Dog's lack of success, and even that is saying a bit much, the shift in focus to SpongeBob-related promos in favor of the other Nicktoons became obvious. To where Michael Wright, a former writer on Angry Beavers, said that SpongeBob essentially broke the network. They supposedly showed them clips from the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla show when pitching the idea of both SpongeBob and Cat Dog to give them a general direction they should head. A show he describes as Hanna-Barbera's worst-looking show of all time. A crass, money-grab tie-in show cranked out by the worst alcoholics of the era. Ouch. Wright was employed as one of the main writers on Angry Beavers, a Nicktoon that ran for 4 seasons between 1997 and 2001, and at some point was one of the most popular shows. Unlike some other Nicktoons like Cat Dog, its cancellation is well documented. They were regularly butting heads with the censors to where they famously weren't even allowed to say "shut up" on their own show out of fear of kids saying it in real life. Cause looking up to 2 cartoon beavers with the word angry in the title as role models is such a great idea otherwise. When it became known the show would be coming to an end, its creators tried their hand at an episode even more meta than usual, where the 2 main characters would realize they'd actually been part of a cartoon all along. However, even this silly concept was enough to trigger the executives at the time that pulled it out of production and put the final nail in the coffin to where the beavers didn't appear on any promotional Nicktoons items afterward. Where Nick was much more willing to take risks just a few years prior, they wanted to play things much safer around this time, to where after SpongeBob had turned out to be a surprise hit, rather than trying to find other shows to support it, they were trying to find something just like it in case SpongeBob would ever go off the air. A very real fear, since the show was never supposed to go on for as long as it did, with the first movie initially supposed to act as a finale, and it's a miracle it even came to that, as Nickelodeon movies were not doing well around this time, especially the third Rugrats movie, which was the worst performing of the three, though that more so signaled they had officially found something that could rival that show's success in the long run. And by something, I mean 2 shows? Listen, the Rugrats went on for a while, SpongeBob went on for a long while, but the Fairly OddParents isn't one of those I'd say went on for too long. Its creator, Butch Hartman, often talks about how the show was unfairly cancelled multiple times, but damn dude, 10 seasons? The only cartoon who was still improving by its 10th season is South Park, and I really don't want to hear your thoughts on that show.
So the show's canceled, right? And I'm like, well, that's really too bad. I'm like, why? They're like, well, we're canceling your show because there's no sponge in it. I'm like, well, I could put a sponge in it, but there's already a show with a sponge and a starfish. I can make my show about a sponge and like a catfish. They're like, no.
Go by Butch's word, it's easy to assume SpongeBob was what got his show cancelled, and that's probably true in a way, but it also seems counterintuitive for a network to have 2 major comedy juggernauts dominate the entire channel for so many years. Only few cartoons on the channel could rival either ratings-wise, and it didn't really seem like there was the need to. Nickelodeon had started this weird trend of wanting all their shows to be just like SpongeBob, but whenever those shows couldn't live up to its popularity, they were canned after a short run, but never gave any of them a chance to be seen by the general public cause Nick was too busy promoting SpongeBob. Cat Scratch was an equally comedic show that got canned after just 1 season, Invader Zim got way too dark and couldn't live up to SpongeBob, Chalk Zone. Can't believe that actually existed. Whenever they tried diversifying the market with action shows like The X's or My Life as a Teenage Robot, those also got shafted because they were too similar to one of their other hits, Danny Phantom, which in return got cancelled because it couldn't compete with SpongeBob. And because it went over budget, but you know. It's still safe to say Nickelodeon was even worse at promoting their action shows than their offbeat SpongeBob competitors that couldn't realistically compete with the main thing anyway. It took them years to get Avatar toys into production, and after that show had wrapped and the sequel had already started airing, they refused to either give it a decent schedule or show the last season on TV with all its possible spots being clogged up by SpongeBob. Whenever a show actually seems like it could be a worthy competitor, like was the case with Sanjay and Craig, which actually got similar ratings during the first few episodes, it just gets quietly shut down, which doesn't stop them from trying again and again. And hey, would you look at that, it actually worked.
We were so overshadowed by the shows that the executives favoured and by the SpongeBob ratings juggernaut that we were never even sure anyone was watching, much less that they liked it. Nick wouldn't know a good show with relatable personalities from a bad show where people just spout catchphrases and scream at one another at the top of their lungs. No other show will ever be the next SpongeBob. Every network demands that of each new show. This impossible thing, be the biggest thing ever, can't happen, especially as the entertainment industry continues to splinter and becomes more and more niche driven. I would not be surprised in 20 years to look back and realize that SpongeBob SquarePants was the last show that everyone has watched.
Now, some of you may remember back in 2016, there was this show called Harvey Beaks, created by C.H. Greenblatt, who was responsible for Chowder on Cartoon Network and some of the best episodes of SpongeBob. However, it would also be SpongeBob that would steal his new show's limelight, as it first very quietly got removed from the schedule, and then, in a tweet, cancelled altogether. Greenblatt has made it very apparent that he did not approve of the way Nick had handled this situation, stating that he was terribly disappointed in the network and that he had spent 7 years of his life making something special for them, only for them to just throw away. And the same has pretty much happened to all other Nick cartoons at the time, like Pig Goat, Banana Cricket, or Welcome to the Wayne. Just a few days ago, it was announced that the new TMNT show, Rise of the Turtles, would be moved onto their sister channel Nicktoons, where all their new shows go to die. But SpongeBob has stayed exempt from any of this. He's just sitting there, smiling, waiting for his next show to kill. So yeah, I really can't blame anyone for thinking this show has therefore also been responsible for causing others to meet a similar fate. After all, it has gotten so much worse over the years, right? It's such an easy scapegoat. But you also gotta remember that just because one show is doing well for the network right now, that doesn't mean this will go on forever. And it's mainly Nick's awful business strategies that are to blame here. Even in that New York Times article earlier, Disney remained confident they'd be able to beat Nick out in the TV market, which they arguably did in variety alone. Nickelodeon is only like Disney to the extent that SpongeBob is their Mickey. And while everyone has accepted it's gonna be their mascot, no one roots for Mickey. I've accepted that SpongeBob is not gonna go away anytime soon, but just like that Mickey bumper at the beginning of Disney movies, it's more of a means to an end for the real animation to flourish.
Something stupid people have never understood about SpongeBob, it saved American animation. Shows like mine, where we were 6 episodes into an order of 26 when 9/11 happened and Nickelodeon killed my show, were funded by the profits from SpongeBob. SpongeBob let Nick experiment, so that's something else dozens of creators like me owe Steven Hillenburg. For the opportunity to make something great in an era where most companies wouldn't invest money in experimentation. SpongeBob spawned hundreds of little success stories, and it fundamentally changed the face of television. There were dozens of imitators, but they failed.
No, I'm not saying any of these are bad imitators, please don't get mad. Stop me if you've heard this one.
And welcome to another edition of the Golden Fox Podcast. I hope everybody in this chat is doing all right for the first Saturday of November. I am currently entering, actually no, I'm about to end the 9th day of going through the challenge of No Net November, which I'm not going to go into the details of what that is, but you know, if you do a simple little Google search, if you do a Google search, you'll know what it is. So, in the meantime, we got a pretty much a different choice of people here in this podcast. So, the first on the top of this roster, aside from yours truly, is Jessie Barb, aka Lucky Genre.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, her and her thick Kieran ass.
Goldie knows how to sweet talk him.
Next up, we have Riley Percival Miller.
Oh, fellas, how you doing? Oh, yep. I had
always
to do it.
Always having to do the always having to do the goofy voice. I just hope to God that Disney doesn't copyright strike me.
Oh, I'll take their asses. I own Mickey. That bitch has coming.
So Jesus Christ. So the next one up, for the first time in this podcast, I have the voice of Reason.
Hola.
Oh, sorry, I meant we. My bad. But yeah. So you say hola. Last but not least, we have Wolfhead sitting there at the bottom with that what the fuck look on his OC's face.
Hey man, I like my OCs. You lay off.
Hey, no, I'm not bashing it. I'm just acknowledging the expression it has.
I like my expression, dude. It's so that is my favorite expression out of all my 15 expressions for my wolf. Like that. What the fuck? Like, where am I? Face? Like, what am I doing?
So,
what am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
So this is going to be a pretty interesting podcast because we're going to be jumping all over the place. So in the meantime, how are the rest of you doing? Like, anything special happen up until this point?
Mostly working.
Mostly working, yeah.
Yeah. Working on
Aside from this event I just was at.
What, Jesse?
Aside from the event I just mentioned earlier.
Oh, well, what event was that?
It's called Steampunk November. For those who are curious, take Renaissance festivals, but turn it into a steampunk theme, and boom, Steampunk November.
Nice. So I guess November has more than one nickname.
The only difference is, instead, unlike usual Renaissance festivals that last for 2 months, this is only 1 weekend. Which is sad, but oh well, what can you do?
How about you, Golden? How have you been? You always ask us how we've been. We never ask you how you've been. How have you been?
I've been doing good. I've recently been watching a lot of episodes of The Lion Guard, so that way, when I continue my Lion King marathon, I'll be ready on what to talk about when I tackle on the Return of the Roar. You know, aside from, you know, a lot of people complain about the show and they say that there's contradictions and such. Like, I can kind of spot those contradictions, but even then, I still enjoy the show itself, you know? For a show, for something that's aimed for a younger audience, it does do a lot of risky, it dives into a couple of risky topics, supposedly. I'm not going to say too much about it, obviously, but I'm more than halfway through Season 2, and there's a total of 3 seasons. I should be done with it, hopefully within a few days, if I continue focusing on it, as well as, you know, working on other shit. There's going to be a lot of projects to prepare for next month.
Oh, dude.
You're just gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily,
I mean, it's that time of year.
Yeah, when it comes to December, ad revenue goes up like crazy.
And then immediately drops in January.
Oh yeah, it's like it's the rise in December and then the downfall of January.
Everybody just spend all their money on presents and shit, so of course.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
With all the stressful nature.
Chick's head in oven.
With all the stress that is happening and decoration, planning and such a big thing. I'm not. I can't rhyme to save a life. So.
It's like fucking Christmas carolers are singing that song as I open my wallet and a moth flies out of it, and that's all that's flying into my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's everybody when it comes to January.
Sad truth. Oof.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I think it's time we get into the topics.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and just let's get our hands dirty. Let's go ahead and let's not beat around the bush and talk about the pilot episode of Has-Been Hotel. Yeah. Okay, so voice Jesse, to run things down on how things work, we go from the list from top to bottom on the roster on the left of the screen. And I volunteer going last, so that way everybody will have their fair share before I go. So, Jesse,
All right.
you're up. Give us your thoughts on the pilot episode of Has-Been Hotel.
Oh, jeez, where do I begin? Well, first off, the animation for a pilot episode was magnificent. It was very fluid. And look, they all definitely took their time with this animation, so I was very, very impressed. And for like all the music they added, from instrumental to the actual songs they put in, because they like put in how many, like 3 songs, which caught me by surprise. We knew one of them, but the other 2 were pretty much ones I should have expected, but one I definitely did not expect. As for the characters themselves, oh my god, there was so many moments that was happening, I literally was dying of laughter. I was, especially when it comes to like the interaction with Angel and any character you could think of.
Oh yeah, no,
There were a
Angel
few
Dust.
quotes.
Yeah, Angel Dust definitely has a way of, you know, thinking of some hilarious comebacks.
And what can you do, my feminine fellow? I can suck your dick.
No.
No.
He says hi to the bar. No, I love that he says hi to the bartender. It's like, hi, how are you doing? It's like, go fuck yourself. I'll do it if you want to watch in front of me.
Yeah, like, that is like crazy levels of enjoyment.
What's that
And-
knocking?
That's my kid. She's obviously trying to get my attention. Please.
All right. I'm guessing she's muted. Hang on, let me take a look.
Yeah, she's muted.
Yeah, she's muted. All right, let's go ahead and pass it to the next turn.
Sorry about that.
Okay. I was just about to pass the turn.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I think the kid's just trying to bother me, that's all. So
right.
go ahead without me.
All right, Riley, you're up.
Okay, Has Been Hotel. Oh, where do I begin? I have been looking forward to this for like years now. Back when she was first when Rizzy Pop was first doing like the original artwork back in like it was 2015, 2016.
Something like that, yeah. Like it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, it has. This has been a passion project for her and like a lot of other animators and shit. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out where to begin. First of all, Alistair is an amazing character.
Alistair was the shit.
Like every single character I liked, like even Sir Pentious, who a lot of people don't like because he's like over the top. I love how over the top he is. Let's see the fucking news scene. The fact that we got confirmed that Maxwell Adams was that demon that said, "What? That was shit." Alistair was great. All the songs were really good. It's honestly hard to say like what else is there to say because honestly a lot of the scenes we did already see in kind of the teasers and stuff. But
yeah,
it was cool to like hear Alistair sing. Even also that was apparently who is it? Black Griffin providing the singing vocals of Alistair.
Alistair. Yeah.
The Radio Demon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that song. I'm trying to remember, like, what other song was there? I know there was more than one.
And I also like the old curmudgeon gambler guy who's like, what is he supposed to be, like a fox?
I think he's a wolf.
He's like a winged wolf thing. Yeah.
Oh shit, it's me!
You're gonna love it here. I haven't felt love in years. Nifty was an adorable little thing that I'm pretty sure is going to sell a lot of dolls if they ever make merchandise of it.
Merchandise for adults.
Merchandising.
Yeah, like obviously, this is not for children at all.
Yeah.
This is probably the most adult, colorful cartoon I've watched.
Like that's the other thing too. Like so many people I hear saying, "Well, all the characters were so unlikable." I'm like, they're demons in hell.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing that controversy where people are saying that Has Been Hotel was garbage because the characters are unlikable. It's like, well, you're kind of hating it for its sole purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're demons in hell. They are sinners. There's a reason they're there.
Exactly.
If anything, they're downplayed from real life.
Oh, yeah.
The only character that's pretty much out of the expectations is Charlie, but that's because
Charlie and
Baggy.
Yeah.
Baggy.
Yeah, like if there's any character I didn't like, it was obviously the intention of it. It was that news reporter. Like
her.
Like she was an like a.
You are a lip dink jackass, Tom.
But yeah, but that's the she's supposed to be hated. Like it's supposed to be the driving force for Charlie's character.
Yeah. Oh, I really hope this show gets picked up, and I'm like really interested in like seeing Charlie's parents because they're supposed to be like what, the rulers of hell?
Yeah, she's the princess of hell.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's Satan? We never really had them say Satan, so I'm not sure if this is like a different kind of hell or something. I don't know.
Okay, according to what I've learned from Busy Pops' other social medias, according to what she has explained, those two are basically Lucifer and Lilith.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, that makes real good sense.
Yep, that's the names of the two versions for this one. So it makes a lot of sense why they don't seem like the kind you would expect, and why they never mention it because that's not their actual name.
Yeah, you would think they would mention Satan or Lucifer in the with the news people. I don't know. It's weird.
Well,
like her being the daughter of those two.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find out with the second episode at this point.
No, that's the one thing I keep.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
that's the thing with the pilot. It's only one episode in hope that there will be more to afterwards.
It has to be picked up first.
So, anything else, Riley?
Honestly, no. Like everything I'm thinking of has pretty much already been said. So.
Yeah.
so I'll pass it on to Voice.
All right, Voice, you're up.
All right. Well, I came. Well, again, I came into this couple expectations. Again, but the thing is, I haven't been really paying attention to Vizzy-Pop. The only thing I heard about her was the Da Young video.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the fact that she's been
Crap.
Jesse, can you mute, please?
Yeah, Jesse.
The fact that she's been she and her team have been working on this since 2015 shows the amount of love and care that went into this.
What the hell was that?
What the hell is what?
I just I heard a noise somewhere.
Oh, that probably on your end.
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
hear
it's
anything.
Okay. But as a pilot goes, if this did get picked up and I was watching this for the first time, this is probably in a span of 34 minutes or so.
Something like that.
I know pretty much everything about how this world works, and I want to know what new characters are coming in, because right at the beginning we establish what the setting is. We are in hell. There's established through the news reports and through actual activity that goes on in the streets that there is a yearly cleansing of all the demons. Where everything is off limits and we just wipe out the rest. They can't be resurrected or anything.
Overpopulation, basically.
Yeah, because of our population. We're introduced to to a potential solution to the problem with Charlie and Vaggie opening up the Happy Hotel. We're introduced to we're introduced to the best character, Angel Dust.
Yeah.
I love him.
Who's basically going to be who's basically the center of the comic relief.
Pretty much, yeah.
My favorite bit was where his first interaction with Alistair is so what can you do? I can suck your dick. No.
Yeah, everybody loves that one.
Favorite joke.
It is.
That goddamn face.
Best joke.
That goddamn face that comes up for a split second. I love it.
I think that was the top best joke in that whole pilot.
And again, going into this way, and we're also seeing the motivations for each of these other characters. So, what's the news lady's name again?
Katie Killjoy.
Yeah. Katie Killjoy essentially just is the person who, essentially, she's the propagandist who wants to make sure everything stays the way it is. And the whole thing that there's this reputation to uphold that nothing it always should be anarchy and chaos in hell, the purge works essentially.
Yeah.
Purge works.
And Charlie and Vaggie having this this alternative to this for to redeem demons and send him on up to the other place, the good place, if you will. And then the final the wild card of Alistair, who that he's in it for himself. You want to know okay, he does want to invest in it, but for his own benefits and purposes. So that's why
I love his reason for that. Honestly,
he wants to see how far this can go, without to see how far they can fail, and that's why I introduced both Nifty and the Wolf guy as the bartender.
Yeah.
His name is
Sheer entertainment.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
believe
what was
the
it?
character's name is. I believe the character's name is Husk.
Husk, yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And because from start to finish, we have world building set up. You introduce factions in hell of territory. So you have this idea of like, oh, like has been Hotel gonna be like in the middle in like the neutral zone of like, or no, like the in basically no man's land. Or in this case, no demon's land.
It might be brought up again in a future.
Yeah, and then and there's also the idea of which each new patron that comes in, they're going to have their own story of, are they going to send up, are they going to become a loyal pit, are they just going to stay there? There's a lot of stuff that I think is accomplished in just in 34 minutes. Now the question is, if this were to be introduced as, for example, a Netflix series, which obviously if they play the cards right, this definitely should be picked up by Netflix.
Honestly, I'd say Amazon, because there's been a lot of controversy with Netflix and like treating animation.
As
staff
long
and
as the
shit.
creator is given full creative freedom to do what she wants, I would be happy.
And
I mean,
and here my only criticism I have is, as much as I love Pop's style. Oh, sorry. I was saying, as much as I love Vizzy Pop's style, in-betweeners will save lives.
I noticed that there was one shot where a guy was inside some kind of bar while Charlie was having her interview, and the guy's like, "Ha ha ha! This woman is probably joking." The way
This
it was
chick for real?
Yeah, when the way the guy was moving, it looked very unnatural. Like it looked incomplete.
Yeah, in-betweeners will help.
Yeah,
that's the only criticism I have. And if this gets picked up for Amazon, they really want to invest, they definitely need to hire in-betweeners.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, anything else you want to add?
I think it's a toss-up between which song I like better, Alistair's song or Charlie's song.
I like Charlie. I like Alistair's song more.
Yeah, I like Alistair's song more.
I'm sorry, Charlie, but wow, that was shit.
God dang it.
All right, I'll pass it off to Wolfhead.
All right, Wolfhead, you're up.
All right, so here we are, the Has Been Hotel, a series. Hopefully, it'll be a series that was built from the ground up, from pretty much nothing at all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the pilot like a lot. Like I watched it like 3 times, not as much as most people. I know people that watched it like 5 or 10 times, but I watched it like 3 times. Yeah. And let's talk about characters. I'm interested in Charlie. I want to know who her mom and dad are. The scene where she was on the phone and she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm like," what did she say? She was worried that she would be a disappointment to her, or she's like worried that she's like.
Basically, she put it, "I think Dad was right about me."
Yeah, that broke my heart, man. I was like, oh.
I was like, the feels. Somebody
Yeah,
give this
interesting
girl
to
some
see.
child hug.
Yeah, I think out of all the characters, my least favorite character. I'm not even gonna catch the I'm not even gonna name the radio host. What was her name again? Susie Killjoy or something?
Oh,
Katie
Killjoy.
Katie Killjoy. I'm not gonna note her as my least favorite character because I feel like she's an antagonist and she's meant to be disliked. I think my least favorite character so far is Vaggie, but only because I don't know that much about Vaggie.
Right,
like the other characters, are being like fleshed out and you know more about their personality. Vaggie is just known for being angry and yelling at like angel dust.
Yeah.
for the majority of the episode.
She's apparently Charlie's girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they actually, Vizzy Pop confirmed that they are a couple.
Oh, okay,
So Vaggie and Charlie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Charlie's apparently bi and Vaggie is lesbian.
Yep.
Okay, then.
It's why when you hear KED Killjoy say, "I don't touch the gays," that was your biggest hint about the two.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay.
I just want to add that God damn it, Bliss.
God, I read it as soon as you started laughing.
Son.
Oh,
harder, Daddy. Son.
Hey, does your hat also express with you? No, hold on. I also love that the frickin' Angel Dust is like, well, what about your hat? It's like, well, that's none of your goddamn business.
That make your hat the top and you the bottom.
I'm gonna blow you to bits. Okay.
Oh,
not
kinky.
like not like that.
The pilot had so many good jokes, but I think my favorite joke out of the whole thing is when it's not a said gag, it's a visual gag, and that's when Alistair finally unleashes his true power and like tentacles come out of the ground and then they destroy the blimp and then he's just standing there marveling over his
faces.
Yeah.
I love
those faces
so
are
much.
great.
Yeah, and then like after a pocket of silence. Well, I'm starved. Who wants some jambalaya?
Who wants some jambalaya?
I'm willing to bet you that now everybody was like craving for jambalaya because of him.
Yeah.
It got me curious for it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, continue, Wolf.
Alistair, I'm really interested in Alistair because, like Voice said, he's in it for his own personal gain. I feel like he's just one of those, like, he wants to see the world burn kind of characters, and he just wants to laugh as it gets turned to ash. He's one of those characters. There was a moment where, and I swear to God, I said this out loud as I was watching the pilot for the first time, and anybody from Gravity Falls will know, anybody that watched Gravity Falls will know what I'm talking about. There was a moment where he stuck out his hand, and he was like,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and I was like, it's fucking Bill Cipher, dude, get out of there, don't shake his hand.
God, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, my one went with a different place. I thought this guy was basically, because I play D&D, he's one of the devils from the Nine Hells.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and the whole thing is like when you shake on a deal, you're not thinking through, make words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes
Fair
a lot
enough.
of sense.
And because Charlie didn't shake on it, the deal is to her doing it, not to Alistair's.
Yeah.
That was smart on her part, though.
Yes.
So yeah, I like Alistair. I like Angel Dust. I like all of them. Even though I like Vaggie the least, I still like Vaggie, and I saw multiple tweets on Twitter that were like, people were tweeting Adult Swim like, yo, you guys need to pick this shit up. Like, you guys need $1 million. I saw people tweeting Netflix. I didn't see anybody tweet like Amazon Video though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would honestly prefer Amazon to Netflix, considering all the controversy with how they've been treating animation lately.
You know what I heard about Netflix? I heard the only reason that BoJack Horseman is on his last season is because the workers unionized.
Yep. That's what happened
okay.
to Tuca and Birdie, too.
Yeah, they struck down Tuca and Birdie in its fucking prime.
There's also been like reports of like animation staff being abused for that Carmen Sandiego show.
What the fuck, Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch shows on you, but like, get your shit together. Anyway.
Exactly.
Animated in like the Philippines or
Right?
something. I forget.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I had to say about Has-Been Hotel. I like all the characters.
Yeah.
I like the show.
Me too, goddamn. Also, if other forms of media, if you paid attention, you would have caught on pretty quickly. Like, one of the demons that walked by, I was like,
Yeah, I missed it, but I know that Vizzy worked on the
Reanimated, yeah.
Yeah, she basically from what I'm told, she used a lot of music as like her references. Like you catch references of music all over the pilot. Like for example, Alistair saying "Smile, my dear." You're never fully dressed without one.
adding reference.
Yep, that's a song.
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, I noticed that. Again, this might be. I think I noticed from other media. But each of the demons had like a different representation in history. So Alistair clearly from the 30s, and I think the Angel's profile said he's a prostitute from the 40s or the 50s. I think
it said he died in 47.
I think
he was,
I think it was the 30s or 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, he was also a mafia. He was part of a mafia family, so that was why his whole appearance of him, along how he talked, and the weapons of choice he uses is mafia base.
I haven't laughed like that since the stock market crash of 1939.
29.
So many orphans.
It was 29, dude.
29.
Anyways,
So many orphans.
So I think it's my turn to get my say on Has Been Hotel.
Yep.
All right. So, much like with Riley, I've been hearing about this from. I've been hearing about it through the grapevine for a good couple of years. I remember that there were a good number of sampled clips back and forth, and I can definitely say the major payoff. And obviously, the two biggest highlights are obviously Alistair, and the other of which the quotable jokes that people love hearing. Oh, harder, daddy, son. Like those
Nope.
I think the one moment that I would like to tackle on that a lot of people didn't talk too much about is when chaos is like completely ensuing between Charlie and Katie Killjoy, and I just thought it was hilarious to see that she's actually fighting with her, because I'm just like, yes, tear her a new asshole, fight. At the same time, it's hilarious like how Charlie even like starts the fight in the first place. That she calls her a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like calls her a bitch or something like that, and she just turns around.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the co-anchor guy or the guy with the gas mask, and he's so miserable. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how does he ever enjoy being in hell at this point?
Why would anyone help me?
He ran by and he was randomly on fire.
It's like, the freaking heck, what the heck? How'd you get on fire?
Yeah, and I also love the after scene where they're in the limousine. Like, I've seen to watch that one the most, just to like wanted to know what that was all about. Just seeing that like Vaggie is just constantly angry at Angel Dust for his rebellious actions that made everyone look like a joke. It's just like, I'm gonna kill him. It's like, oh, you can't kill me, I'm already in hell. Wait, if I double die, does that mean I'm in double hell? Yeah, you have to live with me, bitch. Get used to it.
Okay, I have a theory that you could take this with a grain of salt. I did notice that when Alistair tried to take care of Sir Pentius, you notice that it looked like it looked like he was dead by how he took him out in the end. But then you see he's not dead. It's like, wait, how is he alive? And then my theory was, yeah, but here's my theory. What if demons can't kill other demons? Technically.
I mean, if you've seen freaking Angel Dust pull out a submachine gun from, out of multiple arms out of its sockets and shot that snake guy.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
So
what I'm basically thinking is like, wait, what if the reason why they have angels cleanse them is because the demons can't technically kill each other?
No, they can hurt each other all they want, but they literally just can't physically kill them.
Right. The idea is that, well, my theory is that because they're high ranking, a simple Tommy gun is not gonna really take him down, and it also makes me wonder how strong Alistair really is.
Oh yeah, good God.
If he could just be holding back.
Oh,
True.
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, no joke. I'm like, ha ha ha. Okay.
Because on the looks of it, it's like a combination of or Mephisto in the Marvel comic, combined with Slenderman and I'm trying to think like a good like a good third here. Like a Lovecraftian creature.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh God.
I really want to see more Alistair. I really want to see.
Let's just hope that this gets picked up.
Yeah, no, everybody wants a piece of the radio demon.
some in more ways than others.
Even though it has been confirmed by the creator, he's asexual.
Yep. Yeah, I figured he'd be.
Asexual.
It's actually been confirmed by the creator. He's asexual.
So he doesn't have any sexual desire?
Nope.
No. Hence why his reaction to Angel Dust was more funnier.
Ha! No.
What can I do for you, my feminine fellow? I could suck your dick. Ha! No. You're lost.
Ha! No.
That's pretty much why it became more funnier, because I knew that Alistair was asexual. So when I saw that clip, I just died.
So
I'm like, I'm dead.
So yeah, I much like everybody else, and by no surprise, I really love this two-parter. I do agree with Voice that some of the frame-by-frame could be worked on a little bit better, because some of them I can tell they're 2 frames instead of single-frame animations. And I'm not gonna, I'm not saying this to try to harp on Vivzy. She and the rest of the crew worked very hard on it. Like, even just by still images, you can pause, appreciate whatever expressions given.
Oh, I just one more thing. If there's any one character I have the most for, Tom.
Wait. You cut out a bit. What was the...
If there was any character I have the most sympathy for, Tom.
The guy with the mask?
Yep, Tom Tanks is his name.
Yeah, no, I seriously hope something actually works out for him. How much are you willing to bet that while the hotel is becoming more successful, Tom decides to partake in reserving a hotel room?
That is not within. That's not without. I see that within purview of him. Oh, I can see him being the first successful case.
Oh yeah.
Compared to Katie Killjoy.
Yeah. Also, this is something that all the chat's also been bringing up. The singing voice for Alistair is actually Black Griffin.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did.
When I found out about it, I was like, wait a minute, Black Griffin, what are you doing in here?
Dude, Black Griffin gets around. He was the
has
voice
a lot of
in
content. He knows a lot of people, so I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah.
He's been very successful with a lot of things.
I mean,
so
he
it's
was
no
in
surprise.
fucking Finding Dory.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Wait,
say.
who was he in
the bird
Finding
from
Dory?
He was Becky.
He was Becky the loon.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Was,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
That was him.
Becky, hooroo.
I'll have to take a look at that. That intrigues me.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't have much else to say about Has-Been Hotel. Like, everybody else kind of like stole the show on my turn. Kind of like Alistair. So I'm not sure if there's anything else to say about Has-Been Hotel at this point.
Nah. I want this to get picked up.
Yeah, like I do like. Okay, obviously I do hope that it does get picked up somewhere, or maybe if there's a good enough budget, there would be a second episode out at some point, and has a good enough...
Actually, you know what would be a good platform for this to go to?
What?
HBO Max.
Does HBO Max have any limitations?
I'm not sure, but I know it's picking up a lot of some of the Cartoon Network shows. I know they're doing like a series with Adventure Time.
Okay.
And given that, again, HBO's limits goes from like cartoons to Game of Thrones as far as as far as content ratings. I do not. That would actually be a very good place for them to pick it for Has-Been to go to.
Okay. As well, just to finish, because I was talking earlier, that at the very least, obviously I do hope that this becomes successful. If it does get picked up, I do hope that the amount of freedom and the hilarious amount of content, just what you're able to find off of this. I do hope that if a network does pick up on it at some point, I do hope that they allow as much creative freedom as possible for Vivzy, on top of, hopefully, fingers crossed, improving the animation quality. Like, obviously, the style is amazing, but again, the frame-by-frame thing. So, I just hope that, it still, is allowed to stick with its roots of what made it such a wonderful thing to watch in the first place. Aside from that, I pretty much don't know what else to say about the pilot episode, other than it's a lot of fun. If you guys, anybody who's watching it on YouTube, I'll have it linked in the description box. You can check that out below, as well as any other sources of what we're about to talk about later in this podcast. So with that being said, anything else you guys want to say about Has-Been before we move to the next topic?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Support the creator, please.
Yeah.
Jesus, look at the chat. Hashtag
Yeah, I
pick
did
up.
I love it when chat unites under one hashtag.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Hotel had 7 million views.
Yes!
Hell yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so, we ready to move to the next topic?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
So, as many of you know, Friendship is Magic has already come to an end. However, with Season 9, once again, this is once again talking about Friendship is Magic, and I'm repeating myself here. Basically, we're going through a rundown of what our favorite and least favorite episodes are, and as a whole, I thought Season 9 was really, really good. I thought it ended really well, aside from the finale and such. As usual, we always exchange turns from the usual order. And as we do go over this, we are not going to include the finale, or the epilogue, or the premiere. I think we can all agree they're all enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, I think it's fair to give, the attention to other episodes. So it's narrowed down to episodes 2 through 23. So there's 22 episodes to pick out of this batch, which seems kind of fitting because didn't this series, with the exception of specials, didn't it have a total of 222 episodes?
Yes. Although personally I count it as 206 because I count the 2-parters as
200 and 222.
That's what it's labeled as. So, anyways, so we're picking our top favorites and our bottom favorites. So, with that being said, Jesse, you go first. What is your top and bottom?
All right, my top 3 for the last season is The Last Laugh, Frenemies, and The Big Mac Question.
Okay.
As for my top bottom, 2, 4, 6, Great, A Horseshoeing, and A Trivial Pursuit.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us about each individual episodes and why you rank them. Starting with, your top 3.
All right, the reason I chose The Big Mac Question mainly as number 3, while it was a really great episode. It was really fun to watch. I was very happy that they finally made the ship between Big Mac and Sugar Bell fully officially canon. It did had its moments. I know Discord, Spike, I know you guys are trying, but just leave them alone. It was getting pretty annoying, but at least it ended on a high note. So I was very pleased on that. As for Frenemies, why it's number 2? Where do I start? This one was actually the most funny one out of all of the whole season. So I was like,
Oh yeah, it was a riot.
Right, this was a gold. And what got me laughing the most is when the villains started singing together.
Yep.
I'm dead. Oh no. Oh wow. They actually gave him a musical number. Especially hearing T-Rex sing. We heard Queen
Yeah.
Chrysalis sing. We heard Cozy Glow sing before. T-Rex we have not. And the fact they gave him a singing number just killed me. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could do the most. Palming myself in, laughing hysterically. Because this was too good. But the whole idea behind the episode itself was like, okay, so Grogan wants to try to get these three to work together by starting by getting his bell, which is the source of his powers. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. So of course they're gonna have compromises. It was very hilarious seeing these guys struggle. And when they finally got the bell and you see they're planning on turning against Grogar, it's like, uh-oh, they're planning betrayal. This ain't gonna be good. It's
They're
gonna
bad
happen.
guys.
It was a real nice hype for what to expect for the season finale, so I was very pleased with that one. The last laugh. Why is it my number one? There are multiple reasons why. Mainly, this is another one of those Weird Al Yankovic episodes that we were waiting on. Heck, I can already heard Josh squealing, finally! Because he's been constantly whining about, bring him back! Bring
I mean,
Weird Al
Pinky's Pride was
back!
his favorite episode, I believe.
Yeah. But when they finally confirm that he is coming back, that they're having Weird Al do one more play of doing cheese sandwich, I was also in that book. I was like, yay! Oh, how are we gonna pull this? For what it's worth, even though you know it's Weird Al, they actually did a good job with him at least showing more than just a happy kind of emotion. Because throughout this whole episode, he was like super depressed. I'm like, oh, poor Cheese! Why are you so sad? And when he said he lost his lab, and I was gasping along with Pinky. I was like, what? How can you no longer laugh? What? But then I was also like having that shipper reaction between Pinky and Cheese Sandwich. Like, oh, I can hear them now. The cheesy pie shippers are saying, ship, 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 ship. You know it was there. And as for the song, I really love the song. It was a nice little touch-up about some related to the reference of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which I was getting throughout the whole episode. It was like, oh, it's a Willy Wonka-based episode. I like that. That's a nice touch.
Willy Wonka.
And when you hear the I can't think. The only thing I hear about Sans is Comic Sans or Undertale. But at the end, what really made it official, like, oh no, I'm dead. I'm gonna die. He actually threw a pun at him, and that what made him laugh. Oh no, canon. He's now in Undertale Sans. So I was like having too much fun, just having a good laugh this episode. For it being called the last laugh, it was still amusing. And I definitely love good humor. Sure, the whole scenery itself still left a bit of a depressing vibe. I will not deny with what Voice's reason behind it is. But as for me, sure, it was going to have a depressive look. But that's to be expected when they weren't paying attention to the whole point of his mission, why he was doing this. So, of course, they weren't seeing it. So there you go. That's why that's my number one for the episodes.
Okay, so now for your bottom three.
As for my top bottom, ugh. Out of all the episodes, A Trivial Pursuit was the worst one to me. It put the bad concept of lesson 0, and it made it 10 times worse. Like Twilight, why? I get it. Okay, I understand you guys are trying to bring back that old lesson 0. This is just taking it the wrong direction. Okay, the face expressions, they were funny. I'm not gonna lie. But Twilight, you never happened to behave like this. We went past this stage years ago. What are you doing? Especially tossing poor Pinky aside just so she could win. I'm like, I can expect that from Rainbow. But you, Twilight? No! Just no! You at all! You're not competitional. That's Rainbow and Applejack's job. Don't take their job.
It's a guilty pleasure for me.